Good
morning.
morning. And good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to this session of Balance in Life. We are excited to have our good friend back, Alan Rasmussen, who's going to talk with us today about making wise decisions. So, wow, this year has been a year of decision making, big decisions, small decisions. I feel like there's not been a time ever in life where we've made quite so many decisions. And so, even as we go into the holiday season, we're deciding how we're going to spend, our break time, what decisions we're going to make. So, in smaller, immediate decisions and lifelong decisions, there's a core set of tools and competencies that can help us in that space. And we're so glad that Alan is here. So, on behalf of Virginia Cooperative Extension, Human Development Program Team, and our partners, North Carolina Cooperative Extension, we welcome you to this session. My colleagues, Herman and Bethany and I, will be moderating the chat box. So as you have thoughts, comments, questions, please feel free to put those in the chat box. This is a Zoom webinar platform, and in a Zoom webinar platform, when you post in the chat, it will automatically send only to the four of us as panelists. If you want others to see your good thoughts, questions, comments, you'll have to choose that in the drop down in the chat box where it says all panelists and attendees. Having said that, I am going to quickly step out of the way and turn things over to Alan. And we are just so excited to have you talking with us about this, Alan. Welcome.
Welcome to all of you, and I'm excited to be here. I always look forward to the Fridays I get a chance to be involved with Virginia Cooperative Extension. So I'm going to go on and get started. We are in, as we know, times of uncertainty. And when we look at that uncertainty, it could be uncertainty about our safety and health due to this COVID-19 pandemic, uncertainty over day-to-day activities, uncertainty about the holidays and maintaining traditions that are so dear to us. We have talked about the value of being resilient, the importance of developing characteristics of resilient people in ourselves so we can move forward in times of adversity and maintain our physical, mental, and emotional health and strength. Effective decision making is a key characteristic and quality of highly resilient people. What interferes with making effective decisions for most people is that all decisions involve some level of uncertainty. With a reliable process for making decisions, you can feel increased confidence and certainty in the decisions you make. So today, I'm going to talk to you about steps you can take to help you make wise decisions in times of uncertainty. So I'm going to pull my screen up here and we will get started. All righty. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Just a couple of questions. I'm not looking for answers, but I do like to stimulate your thinking while you're listening to the presentation. I want you to consider, how often do you have to make decisions? What types of decisions do you make? How do you feel when you need to make decisions? How important are the decisions you make? So, the decisions and the choices you make do determine the quality and direction of your life. That's why it's critical to talk about decision-making skills. And I like this quote: "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. How does it feel when you make a good decision? Most people I talk to, it helps them build confidence. Their self-esteem goes up and they feel like they're moving in the right direction, they experience positive emotions from it. I love the questions, why, and anyone here ever made a bad decision? I don't like to reflect on that too much, but I can certainly say I have. What were the reasons for it being a bad decision? And what were the consequences? Don't worry, no one makes good decisions all the time. Decision making is a skill that can be learned and practiced. And if most of you know me by now, I like to give tools for the tool belt, something that you can use in your day-to-day life and actually share it with others and model it. So this decision making presentation is definitely one that you can learn and practice and model. Making good decisions requires patience, careful thought, and sound judgment. Now, what is sound judgment? Here's a couple of definitions: good common sense combined with solid analysis and a concern for people. I mean, I want you to look at this and think about it as we're going along. But, sometimes just having good common sense, but being able to take what's going on, situations, and dissect it, analyze it, think about it critically, and then also have a concern for other people in your process, to care about people. It's based on accurate and complete analysis of known information. So I mean, that's a big piece of decision making, having sound judgment, because there's like with the COVID-19, there's scientific information out there, and then there's other information that people talk about that really may not have an accurate basis. So we want to find that reliable, known information, analyze it, and see how we can use it in our decision making. It can be an opinion or conclusion formed by assessing something. So when you look at decisions, they can be a response to a situation. So what is the issue, problem, or situation that you need to address? It includes carefully considered alternatives and periodic reassessments. I've picked one of these alternatives. I'm applying it. I'm doing it. How's it working out? Let me reassess that and think about it. Am I moving in the right direction? Decisions can be limited by finances, relationships, your job, and other things over which we have no control. So, I always like to mention that, there's the right decisions. People go, hey, you're making the right decision, versus making the appropriate and effective decision given the situation. Sometimes we may not be able to do exactly what we want to do, but we do the best we can with the situation we have. Benefits of making wise decisions. They definitely can improve your life. They can build self-confidence and self-esteem. They definitely can reduce stress in your life. They can help you achieve goals that you have set, goals you want to accomplish. And you can avoid making mistakes that can cost you more than money. And that's an interesting statement. A lot of you all know I was worked in different backgrounds, but I did that probation and parole work for years. So I often talk big time about making wise decisions, how you move forward, and it's move in the direction and accomplish what you want, and not make mistakes that do cost you more than money, things that really drastically impact your life in a negative way. So I always like to go over this reaction pattern chart again, because when you're talking about making decisions, sometimes people aren't comfortable doing it, and they can make decisions when they're angry in times of uncertainty, can make them angry. They can respond in anger and make decisions. They can take stuff inside and not really make decisions and just let things brew around. They can get upset about what's going on, the uncertainty, but they can make themselves a victim, or they can say, hey, I'm going to cope, figure out a plan, a strategy, make some wise decisions, and keep being resilient and moving forward. So, again, I always, this chart means so much in a lot of areas of our life, because I always like people, and I do it myself. Where am I? Am I getting agitated? Am I getting frustrated? Am I putting my feelings on the table? Am I taking what's going on and working to make wise decisions and cope so I can move forward, be resilient, and thrive? So it's critical to see where you are, your reaction patterns. And remember, those positive emotions are is so important. Negative emotions, they limit those action choices. Positive emotions keep that good spirit. You can relax, think, and analyze situations, come up with good decisions. So let's talk about this process that you can use. You can practice, you can learn, and we can pass it on to others. So let's talk about how to make wise decisions. Step one, you want to define the problems. What is the problem? Examine the problem thoroughly. Look at it from all angles. Keep thinking. Do not be satisfied with quick and easy answers. Avoid mistaking the problem's symptoms as the problems. An example, a shortage of money, when really I may have poor spending habits. So we need to critically look at what's going on here and define the problem. Goals. What do you what do you want to achieve? You need to have realistic expectations. Can I do this? Can I get it done? Who can help me? Is this decision yours to make or someone else's? When does the decision need to be made? Sometimes people like to rush and get it done right now. And when you may have a little bit of time, you can think and analyze a little more and come up with a better decision. Who will be affected by the decision and how? And why is this decision important to you? Will the problem solve itself with time? Believe it or not, sometimes these problems can solve themselves with time. We're engrossed in it. We're worked up by a situation, and sometimes they have the potential to resolve themselves. Not always. Frequently, we need to take charge and to make decisions and move forward. But sometimes it does work that way. Now, step two, you want to gather information about the problem you're looking to address. I do this when I do a presentation. I research, look for ideas, information, and so do the same when you're making decisions. Make yourself an expert on the subject, the issue, the problem you're trying to address. Make yourself an expert on it. Study it. Get on Google, research, use all resources available. Seek advice from people who know more than you about the problem. That's a good resource. Information, the key here is information leads to alternatives. It opens our minds to paths that we didn't even know were possible. So with that increased information, we may go, hey, I never thought about that. Let me explore that. Let me think about that. That might work for me. Step three, think of alternatives. Be creative, not judgmental. Where you just throw out any idea, look at it, examine it. So be creative. Throw some alternatives out there, and don't be too quick to judge. Later, you'll analyze them. Write down all of these alternatives. And remember, any idea is a good idea at this stage. Put it on paper. Just put it there. Because, sometimes I went to a talk one time and the guy said, hey, what's the last thing you would do in this situation? And then he had us examine that last thing we would do. And we actually found some potential in that. So any idea is worth looking at, and make sure you check it out before you rule it out. And then step 4, choose an alternative. You've researched these alternatives, you've explored them. So now it's time to choose an alternative. So visualize the outcomes of each alternative. Picture this alternative in action, and where it's taking you, and look for roadblocks, look for bridges, and be realistic and see how they measure up against one another. And the key is to be realistic. Our heart and emotions get involved, but this is a time to think critically and analytically and realistically. Eliminate the alternative if it is not likely to happen. Be practical. Can the plans be carried out? Can I get this done? If necessary, you can combine features of different alternatives and maybe come up with a hybrid alternative. Hey, this one was working fine to here, but there's a barrier there. But ooh, look at this one down here. Maybe I can blend those two together. And ultimately choose the alternative that fits you. The outcomes are comfortable to you. That's critical. So step 5, putting your decision to work. Put your decision into effect. Put the rubber on the road and let's go. So make sure everyone affected knows what will change. Some of these lines you look at them, you go, okay, but they're big ones. You're making decisions. You may be tied in with other people, and you don't want to surprise people. So when I'm making a decision, I like to let people know what I'm thinking, what I'm planning on doing, and I'm letting you know this is going to change, so they have a time to adapt and adjust and move forward with you. Do not worry or second guess yourself at this point, because I want you to think about this. You have researched your issue, the problem. You've looked at alternatives, explored them, critically analyzed them, and visualized how they would work. So you've done the best you can given what's going on, the information you have. So you've made the best decision you could for the present. If you do get more information later that is pertinent, return to the decision-making process and include that in there. And I'm gonna tell you, I like to throw examples once in a while, because I've been a manager, I've been a lot of things in my life, and I would have people come to me about case decisions, and maybe they would give me information that they had at the time, and they would say, hey, chief, what do you think I should do? And so given what they told me, I'm going, hey, this might be a good way to go. Let's look at alternatives. And sometimes my gut reaction would say, hey, I'm missing something here. And I'm not sure what it is, but given what they've told me, this is what I'm looking at. And so later, they might come back and say, hey, I got something else to add to this situation. And I went, oh, then the light bulb goes off. That's what was missing. Here's exactly what we need to do in this case or this situation. So, keep that in mind. Sometimes you don't have all the information. It may come later. Step 6, review. How is it going? Are the outcomes what you expected? Are you happy? If not, go through the process again. Here's your opportunity. Don't beat yourself up. Put yourself in what's going on. Keep moving forward and redo the process. Keep upbeat and have a good spirit. You're learning and growing through every experience. Ask yourself if you had enough information, what values came into play. Were these values yours or someone else's? Remember this, and that's maybe it's not the best artwork, but that is stone. Okay, so I always like to say, remember that no decision is set in stone. All right, so you can go back a lot of times, make adjustments, and take another path. Sometimes that is more difficult. There's no doubt about it. So that's why it's good to do this process in the beginning, do it thoroughly, and move forward in the right direction with your decision making. So, common mistakes that people can make: overestimating or underestimating the value of information received from others. Our emotions get involved. Sometimes we go, hey, I really like this person, and I'm going to go with what they're saying. But, get that mind going, put your heart a little aside, keep the mind, be logical, study the stuff, examine it, and make appropriate decisions while you're looking at information. Only hearing what you want to hear or seeing what you want to see. We can do that once in a while. Another common mistake is not listening to your feelings or gut reactions. We talk about that in that resiliency presentation too. Sometimes our body talks to us, we have gut reactions. Sometimes we don't feel comfortable when something's going on. So take time and stop and go, hey, what's going on here? Do I need to do something different? Some tips: take a deep breath and relax. You exercise better judgment and better decisions when you are calm and relaxed. I got to tell you, when I said that, I just relaxed instinctually. I just kind of calmed down myself. I'm gonna have to tell myself that more from time to time. Do not make decisions when you are distressed or anxious. Get yourself calmed down, be in the right frame of mind, have that good energy and good spirit going. Know when decisions need to be made. That time frame again. When does it need to be made? And, nothing is more uncomfortable than being rushed or pushed to make a decision, because the process, as we lay it out, you need to take time to think clearly, understand what you're doing and what the issue is, and take steps. So, sometimes you might have to say, look, hey, you're going to have to back off a little bit, or back yourself off, and take the time and just try to do it the best you can when they need to be made. Talk to others about the pending decision, but remember, the choice is yours alone. You're making decisions. So, live up to that, and do what's best for you. And I know we have concern for others. So don't make it out to be that you're just doing for yourself and not for others. We are involved. We're in relationship with others, but we all need to be making decisions in there together. So anticipate the reactions of others, strategize ways to achieve your goals, and handle those who may sabotage your efforts. Realistically list the pros and cons of each alternative. Be flexible. Shift gears to pursue new goals. You're seeing a lot of these words in this that are tied into that resiliency presentation big time. That flexibility is a key. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Please do not beat yourself up if something isn't working the way you want it to go. Just collect yourself, go back through the process, and keep examining and learn and grow and evolve. The more you do it, the better you will get. Learn from the process and practice. We are what we repeatedly do. Questions to ask yourself today as I conclude: how can I use this information that Alan's talked about? What decisions do I need to make? How can I best make these decisions? Who can help me? What actions do I need to take and changes do I need to make to achieve my goals? That sounds like a song, Herman. You might turn that into something there, man. I like it. Put a good beat to it. What actions do I need? I like it. All right, so make wise decisions and take charge of your life. So I appreciate the opportunity to be with you all. I hope this is helpful. And I do want to say this. I hope everybody has a safe and healthy holiday and best to everybody all the time.
Awesome. This is good, Alan. Thank you. I think as we think about, how we make these decisions, I just go back to, the holidays, and we really are grappling with, do we gather, do we not gather, what do we do, what do we hold on to, what do we let go, and what do we create that's new. And it's a day by day. And then as you're doing that, there are implications sometimes because other people are involved and they may be making different decisions or have a different set of values or things that they want to do. So any sort of bullet point you want to give us on as we're thinking about the holidays, if we are, making decisions with our loved ones and we're on a different page, how do we get together and make that decision, Alan?
Uh, we got to go back to just being, that's another presentation in the future to teamwork, but we need to sit and talk, keep ourselves calm, respect one another, and listen to one another. And, I love the caring part. I care about you. And if you're in a healthy relationship, like we've talked about, you begin to trust one another, you work together, you make things happen. So it's critical that whatever the issues are, put them on the table. Whatever decisions need to be made, let be lay it out. When we're looking at alternatives, let's all throw out alternatives. Let's all explore these alternatives, examine them critically, and then hopefully we can come up, because we love each other. Hopefully, we want to do things together. We want to be safe. We have these common goals. Let's figure out a plan and the steps we want to take and make it happen. So to me, I think a big piece of it is not getting territorial. We've got to watch our personalities, like don't try to take over. If I'm with a group, I'm a piece of a puzzle. So I have my piece to say. I've got to respect others, and we really need to look at the big goals and whatever those are for people. But hopefully, it's staying safe, staying healthy, and I don't like to get my opinion in there too much, but once in a while, I think sometimes there's a lot of pressure put on people when there's one day that we're supposed to celebrate, and there's so many traditions around it. And I'm not blasting that. I'm just saying, man, when you're in COVID pandemic and things are going on, there's some jolts to our traditions and things we do, and we really, now more than ever, we need to be resilient, be willing to be flexible, and know that we've got a brighter future coming. So let's not get tied up too negatively in what's going here now. Make good decisions, work together, stick together, and be strong. I
Good.
Yeah,
hope that helps. I mean, that's
definitely. I picked up on that. One thing that I found out that I never knew, when I make a decision, some people listen. So some I found out I make a better impact when I say, well, that's fine, but this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, well, all everybody wants to go over there, that's fine, but hey, I'm not going. And people will come to me and say, so why are you not doing that? And then I found I have more influence by doing what I'm going to do rather than trying to convince everybody else to do what I think we should do.
Herman. I love that, because you're right. People are afraid sometimes to put out their feelings, what they're thinking, and sometimes nobody can mind read anybody. So if you put it out there and are confident doing that, you might be amazed at how many people say, I'm thinking like that too, but I wasn't sure what to do given the situation. But it gives people permission to
Yeah,
express themselves and agree.
that's right.
Yeah, nothing, put it out there, put it on the
Yeah.
table.
Because I beat myself down, beat myself up so bad trying to make everybody think like I'm thinking, and then but when I just say, hey, that's fine if y'all want to do that, but this is what I'm gonna do.
Right, right. That's right. That's right. Sometimes it's not a we all the time.
Yeah, I think that's really good. That's really good and rich. So, one person was asking about the chart earlier, Alan, where you shared the chart, and I just want to read the question out loud because I'm not remembering the exact wording. But Christian asked about the chart. Go. Says in one of the slides, it was a diagram displaying that anger leads to coping with the situation, if I remember correctly, and I think that was a miss. Maybe
Yeah,
it was
no, no.
if you could
That
clear
that
that up. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that chart it clearly shows that when there's adversity or times of uncertainty, anything we're dealing with, anger is a dead end street. Getting angry about it is not going to move you forward. The next thing is you can go numb and take it in and do nothing about it, but it's inside of you, and that can cause some mental health, stress, other issues that can affect people. They're just not dealing with it, but it's there. But the thing that people can do is get upset, and upset is different from being angry. Upset is expressing what you're feeling in a useful way. Hey, I don't really like this, uh, but the word but comes in, and the but means, what am I going to do about it? So you can make yourself the victim, which is a dead end street, or you can go down to the next piece and cope. So I don't like this, but what am I going to do? All right, let me make some decisions. Let me come up with some alternatives on what I can do with this situation, and let me be resilient and keep moving forward. And so there you learn, you grow, you move forward, and hopefully you thrive. So, no, anger is not the way to roll. No way.
Thank you. I appreciate that call out and that clarification. And so we will send out the slides with the recording to this presentation. And I did post in the chat, and I'll post it again. Our next session will actually be January the 8th. So we have a time where we're going to be closed. The university is going to be closed. And so we want to, thank all of you. Thank you, Alan, for being here again. Herman, Bethany, thank you for being here as always. And for all of you who logged in and joined the session today, I hope that you all have a great, great break, holiday season. However you are celebrating, I really hope that you take to heart what we talked about in the session today and really start to prioritize and focus on those things that are of most importance. I mean, yeah, I'm going to miss that potato salad from my aunt, and I'm going to miss some of the traditions, but what are the things we're going to do? I can tell you one of the things we're going to do this weekend is make some hot cocoa at home, jump in the car and drive around and look at some lights. I mean, what are the things that we're going to
Beautiful.
do, right? Yeah, so think about the things that are of most importance, caring for yourself, and really making the opportunity to have some good memories, refresh, rejuvenate, and take care of yourselves and make good decisions. Having said that, happy holidays to everyone. We will see you in the new year, January 8th. Thanks all.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thanks all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Herman. See you, Bethany.
Okay. Happy holidays.
Same to you, man.
Thank you
All
all.
right.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.